What is going on, guys? Zigzag here. Welcome back to another GeoGuessr video. Now, today we are back on the Play Along League. We are up to leg number 9, and of course, as always, the links to play next week's games are in the description, so you can go forward and see yourself playing in the next week if you would like to do that. Now, I have another announcement that is on my Discord. There is now the Q&A for when I hit 2,000 subs open, so if you want to ask me anything at all, I'll try and get to it. No promises that I'll get to them all, but yeah, feel free to ask me whatever you would like. And yeah, if you don't have Discord and you want to just use this video as the place to ask your question, then feel free to leave a comment as well. Okay, so here is the current standings for the league. We are in number 13, but we're a good 200 points away from the front runners here. And yep, that is everyone in the top 25. So let's head straight into the first leg, which is going to be a world without Google Car Meta. Fantastic map with all the different countries of the world. We are a minute 30 and no moving, so let's go. And here we have some bollards, interesting indeed. This one would appear to be somewhere in Europe, of course. They're European bollards. This car is driving what appears to be right. Well, I'm just assuming it's right-hand side of the road because I can't think of any left-hand drive countries that would look like this. So let's get in here. My first thought is that maybe this could be like Bosnia or something. I'm not really sure what bollards Bosnia uses, but considering the road quality is kind of poor, I do consider that probably a likely option. Also, the reflector is kind of an odd shape here. So let's take a look at the architecture, see if that would fit. Could certainly be Balkan. Could certainly be Balkan. Yeah, actually not entirely sure what I think here. Kind of like got like a willow tree here as well, which is interesting. But these A-frame poles, that could fit. Is Belarus also possible here? I think Belarus actually uses these poles. So maybe it is actually just going to be Belarus instead. Given that it's not official Google coverage or anything, it is interesting. We've got a red and white turning arrow, and I'm pretty sure Belarus does use that. So maybe that's more likely. Would we have like hills like this? I mean, this is by no means mountainous, but it's certainly hilly. So that's kind of a concern, to be honest. That is kind of a concern. I would expect Bosnia, however, to have plenty of hills. So maybe I have made the wrong decision by switching over here. I don't know. Let's see. And okay, it was actually in Moldova, the other country without Google coverage that I didn't consider. Of course, there's not many countries in Europe that lack it. Belarus, Moldova, and Bosnia being the main ones. So at least I got 3,700, and it seems like a lot of people actually doing a good job there. So well done to everyone who got it correct. That's good. This time we actually do have a little bit of car meta, just a small antenna there. This one is feeling Spanish or Portuguese to me. I think Spanish. We have a lot of buildings that are white with red roofs, so maybe even feeling a little more Portuguese here. As for the rest of it, we have this wooden pole. We have like quite a lot of mountains here and a lot of olive trees, so definitely Mediterranean. Now, I think the architecture does not look particularly Italian. This house here might, well, this like castle thing might, but the background houses look much more Iberian. So I think I might actually go northern Portugal here. It could really be Spain. It's going to be one of the two, I think, but it's pretty green, so that is an interesting part of it. Now, I'm relatively confident this is not the Canaries or something like that, but I guess that is possible. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with my guess here. Might go up in this region here. Let's see. And, oh, what a terrible guess. Wow, and a lot of people are actually getting this one. That was actually all the way over in Greece, and I'm sorry, Poison. I'm sorry, Nakas. This is not the time where I make a good Greek guess. Wow. Okay, so yeah, definitely felt Iberian to me. Even still, I'm thinking, could I have gotten that? Definitely a tough ask. But actually, all the white buildings certainly looked Greek in hindsight. It's just the red roofs that, of course, you do have them in Greece as well. Just associate with that part of the world. Anyway, 1,000 points. Not boding well for us here. Not boding well. So this one's interesting. We've got some motorbikes. Motorbikes, obviously, often in Southeast Asia. Got a white front plate here, white back plates. These look like Indian license plates to me. We've got MH again. Hold up. So last time we had MH on a number plate, it was this state here. It was this state here near Mumbai. So I'm thinking that's probably where we're going to be again. That's actually just in the last episode that we had that. So that's kind of curious. And actually, yeah, we have MH and MH again. So I think Indian plates must normally use codes at the front. So yeah, I'm pleased to be able to guess there. And yeah, I think we will just guess in Mumbai because it seems like pretty built up. Let's guess right here. And okay, so it is actually all the way out here. And wow, India's so huge. You don't really appreciate how big it is until you look here. But that's only 4,000 points. And it seems like, yeah, a lot of people getting in the right state, but similar to me, not quite getting it quite right. So that's okay. We are moving on to the next round here. And this is curious. Okay, this is curious. I think China. Before I looked at this building, I was not really sure. I don't know what I was really thinking, but looking over here, this should be China with this building. So we have some interesting statues here. This looks like a religious building. Buddhist, right? Hold up, no. I think this must be Buddhist, right? But it kind of is a bit ambiguous to me. I'm actually not quite sure what I think here. So let's actually look a little bit closer. I'm assuming so. I'm assuming this will be Buddhist. These buildings over here kind of are very generic. I couldn't really tell. It's just this one that makes me think of China, right? So I'm thinking maybe somewhere in the north. It's very cold. So I'm assuming we have to be somewhere out here where the winters get particularly harsh. Maybe up north. Wu Wei? Could that be possible? Maybe, well, it has to be Buddhist. It's interesting, isn't it? Maybe somewhere out here. Could Tibet also be a better option here? Now that would kind of make sense, right? They're Buddhist in Tibet, so I actually think Lhasa could be a better option here. Maybe somewhere near Nepal. So I think one of these cities is probably most likely. It's taken me a while to get there in my thought process, but I'm pretty sure I'm actually right here. So I actually had a Uber ride with the Tibetan guy who used to be a monk for 20 years the other day. And okay, this was actually over in Bhutan, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, we're in the capital city there, and yeah, not a fantastic guess, but it seems like a lot of people are actually getting that one correct as well. So clearly not my best day today. This one's curious because we are in Africa, but it kind of looks like Australia with all these kind of light-colored trees. We've got like Brazilian-style poles over here, which is curious. You get those in Nigeria sometimes, so I wouldn't be surprised if we were in West Africa here. So yeah, that's pretty much all we get to work with. Had a round similar to this one in Malé recently in the capital city video, I feel like. So in Bamako, so maybe I'm thinking somewhere out here. Alternatively, Niger, Burkina Faso. I think all these countries where we're just bordering on the Sahara kind of make most sense to me. But we don't really have many clues, so I'm kind of considering just ripping it and seeing if we are correct here. Certainly seems like we're right-hand drive, so that is at least some confidence for this guess. So let's see if we are correct about that. And okay, not too bad. We were actually in Nigeria with the Brazilian poles there, so not a fantastic score. We get 15,000. Pretty happy with the India guess. Glad I remembered that. And all the rest of the guesses, and this one was fine as well, but all the rest were kind of subpar. That's okay, sometimes you will get those subpar ones, and I anticipate that I'll be a fair way down on this one. So let's, this guy's clearly cheating, but let's check out, so come on, given a bad name to Malta, but let's check out the next 15 guys, because this was a relatively simple seed. We can check out everyone like that. And yeah, looking at these scores, it looks like I'm going to be a fair way down here. Just unfortunate that some of my guesses were a bit subpar. So wow, we were all the way down here in number 81. So there you go, a tough round, but looks like we had a lot of people playing here, which is always nice to see. So even still, we might be about halfway down here. So let's see how many we did have. Wow, this was probably the biggest week for the play along ever, I think, guys. So thank you. We had over 200, 206. That must be the biggest one ever. Yeah, that is it. And so let's check out how people went. Here was the Ukraine. So a couple of us in Belarus. And it was the Moldova one. And only one person, two people, legitimately getting in Moldova. So interesting. I think those bollards, though, it meant that Slovakia, Hungary, Russia, or maybe Russia, but it meant that Slovakia and Hungary and a lot of these other ones were impossible. Yeah, I guess we did decently on that one. As for the Greece, all the people on the top got that correct, even Poisoned, the Greek himself, getting on the right island. So very impressive with that. My Portugal guess kind of feeling silly in hindsight, but that's how it goes, I guess. Lots of olive trees there. This one, we got the right Indian state, but everyone did that. As for the Bhutan one, this must be a famous place of some kind because it seems like people getting around the right spot, and Interestingly, this is not where it was, because we were right in the mountains, so I think that one might be a bit misplaced or something. Could that be true? Maybe we weren't actually right in the mountains, it was just the cold weather. Anyway, wait, I was actually joined by someone over in Lhasa. Lhasa? Is that how you pronounce it? Anyway. As for the West Africa, we had some Niger, we had some Benin, we had a bunch of Nigeria, so people knowing about the polls makes sense. My guess was decent. And was that it? Yes, that was it. So let us move on to the no moving, panning, or zooming section of the video, and let's just see how we can go. Hopefully it is a success. Okay, so here is the first round. We have a long white plate on the front with no strip, so I think, given that they are driving left-hand side of the road, this will be Britain, and it feels fairly southern to me. Definitely feels fairly southern. I don't think it's going to be north of Manchester, but what about Colchester? Or somewhere down here. I don't mind anywhere like kind of around London or south of there. Rochester? Let's go in Rochester. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, it just has more of a southern feel. And I don't think there's much to say. This like tree kind of looks like French almost, you know what I'm saying? It's really quiet. Southern feeling. So let's see about that. And where was I thinking of clicking? I was thinking of clicking Colchester. Is actually up here. So an interesting part of Britain. Not too many people live out here, which is quite interesting. I wonder what the reason is. But yeah, seems like we've done pretty well, and a bunch of people getting about the right scores. So a decent start, but not terrific by any stretch of the imagination. This one is going to be in Indonesia. We have a bike. It doesn't actually have a front license plate, which you normally do see in Indonesia, but certainly doesn't preclude it from being Indonesia. The clear satellite dish here is probably the biggest clue, and also it's a concrete road, it's a bitumen road, not a concrete road. So yeah, feeling fairly confident about Indonesia here. 30 seconds to go. I think it's either going to be Java or somewhere on what's it called? Sumatra here, and I think Sumatra is not a bad shout with all these palms, so curious. I think I actually might go Sumatra here around here, but yeah, would not be surprised if this ends up being Java as well, so let's see. And yeah, this was Sumatra, so actually seems like our score was about good here. And yeah, this was all the way over in Natal, and yeah, that is very interesting. So someone commented, excuse me for forgetting who, but someone commented that palm trees are more common to see where the soil is bad, and that actually applies to Sumatra a lot of the time, where you can't grow other stuff. So that is interesting. 3,200 points, a good score. So we have a black car here. We have double yellow lines, and the double yellow lines mean that we will be in Argentina, not Uruguay, because Uruguay would have the white dots, the white dashes in between. So yes, we are in Arge here. And this is definitely like north of Buenos Aires in this region over here. It's flat and it's super green. So I'm thinking somewhere over here, thinking like that kind of area there. Maybe even like over closer to this, because it's so green it almost looks like Brazil, you know? And we can almost read that, but I don't mind this. I think we're going to be somewhere in this region over here. And maybe this is risky, but I don't know. The road is kind of running on the right angle here, so that is even a nice element of this guess. And yeah, I'm going to go on the outskirts of this town here. We're going to guess next to this petrol station here. Let's see. And okay, it was super far north. Unfortunately, we guessed too close to Brazil and not close enough to Bolivia here. So yeah, this was right all the way up near Bolivia, and this was the correct petrol station, not ours. Same road angle and everything, so I kind of got baited there. Unfortunate. So here is the second last round. We're driving left-hand side of the road. We've got like a black and white pole here. This one should indeed be in Malaysia, and I'm pretty sure you don't get Gen 4 on Borneo, just on the peninsula, so that's what I'm thinking. Given that we have a bit of Chinese here, I mean, I often feel like that's further to the north, but honestly would not be surprised if this was just KL, because it seems quite built up. So yeah, I think I will just go KL here. It's fairly flat, so let's go out to the west of the city here and see, shall we? And okay, this was actually all the way out here in Bahau. So an interesting round. I don't think I've ever had one in that city. And yeah, I'm about equal distance. A lot of people seem to have guessed inside KL, so Fair enough, I would say. And here is the final round, and we are Generation 2 in Alberta. These are the Alberta and Northwestern Territories bollards. And so I'm pretty sure it becomes Gen 2 like up here. I think it's this road, or is it this one? So it's either this highway or this highway that we're gonna be on, given that it's Gen 2. We're kind of going east to west here, so maybe it's actually gonna be somewhere over here instead. Oh, are we going east to west? It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, I do think like we're gonna be somewhere quite far north here. Also, there's no trees, so that's kind of a clue, and it's also dead flat. So yeah, I'm just concerned about the fact that it is east to west here. So could we be on this section of the road? It's possible. It is possible. I don't know. I don't know. I think we should be on this side here. So let's hope for the best here. See if we're correct. And oh my gosh. Not a good guess. Not a good guess. I mean, of course, the right province, but yeah, we were just going east to west all the way down here. And seems like other people guessing a little too far north as well. But the Generation 2, I know that it kind of looks like the crappy Generation 2. You get it sometimes up here. Or what? Sometimes the Google car meta does screw you up. So let's see how people went here. I anticipate I would do a little bit better than 80th here. Yeah, I was number 15. So I say let's check out the top 15, and we'll see everyone else who played as well. Here we go. So we have... I wonder how many people played on the challenge link. It's always a few less. But the league was fantastic to have 200. We have 111 here. So thank you everyone for playing. Here you are, all of you. And let's see. So yeah, my guess was clearly the worst out of the top 15 here. In fact, had I had a good guess there, I would immediately have rocketed up maybe into the top 3 here. Unfortunately, that's just not how it goes sometimes. As for the other places, yeah, our UK guess was fine. It was our Indonesia guess that was our real savior. It seems like a lot of people probably missed out on the Sumatra. And then as for the Malaysia, we had a good guess. And the final round was, of course, the Argentina, where we also did decently. Unfortunately, you really had to guess somewhere over in this region near the mountains, near the Andes, to get a good guess. And yeah, I guess it was just a bit baity because we couldn't see any of the mountains. It just suddenly gets flat over in this section of Argentina. But that's just how mountains work, right? So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to ask a question in the Q&A if you feel like it. And yeah, thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. Much appreciated. I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Catch you later.